Hello, welcome. This is Dr. Drew Leader, a philosopher and an MD at Loyola University, Maryland. And I'm talking about different healing strategies that people use when they're suffering with chronic illnesses or disabilities, incapacities associated with getting older, et cetera, et cetera. Times when the body really breaks down or at least alters and limits us, which happens to pretty much everybody over the course of their life. We all have to deal with that. And this is one of the focuses of my new book, The Healing Body: Creative Responses to Aging, Illness, and Affliction. And in it, I have what I call a chessboard of healing strategies, no less than 20 in all, that people utilize, sometimes with the help of the medical system, sometimes quite independent of it, to bring themselves back together, what I call healing, becoming whole, reintegrating in the face of the disruptions that bodily breakdown bring. And today we're going to talk about one square on that chessboard of healing, which I call transforming. And what do I mean by this? Well, when the ability structure of our body begins to break down, sometimes even the physiology or the anatomy of our body has altered. Sometimes it doesn't work to simply try to restore the capabilities we once had and negotiate our way through the world exactly the way we did when we were 10 years younger or prior to having a serious injury or chronic illness. We have to change and adapt to be resilient. So we have to transform our way of using our body, our way of doing things in the world. I'll start with kind of a dramatic example from a book by Nancy Sherman, The Untold War, where she tells the story of Dawn Halfaker, who had her right arm blown off in an explosion in Iraq, and refusing to give into just self-pity and the limitations of her new body. Um, she decided to adapt to it. Like, she used to be a right-handed tennis player. She actually painstakingly taught herself to play tennis with her left arm and hand. And she ended up doing very well, even the CEO of her own company. So in a way, she had to reinvent herself, her way of using her body, train it into new habits, new patterns, so that she could still kind of recover abilities that were important to her. Let me take another example. Let's say someone has severe muscle weakness in their leg from a neurological disease or whatever. Maybe to get into bed, they have to lift their leg in using their arms, or they may have to construct a little kind of step-by-step ladder that helps them climb into bed. So they're altering their usage of the body, and sometimes they're altering the environment, the world around them. This also opens up to kind of big sociological and even political questions about, do we construct environments, for example, making a building wheelchair accessible that allows people with disabilities and injuries to still negotiate that world successfully. It's not only a matter of individual work, but it's something we do together as a community. I'll just close with a quick personal example. A lot of the things I talk about, I've had to experiment with and utilize myself. So, for example, I have a pretty severe lower back problem. I had to have emergency surgery. I don't have much disc material. And one of the strange symptoms, particularly disabling for an academic like myself, is I can't pick up a book and read it without triggering lower back pain. Something about the angle at which I hold it and the way in which I tilt my head. For years, I've been unable to kind of conquer this problem. However, I nowadays do a lot of reading through an electronic interface, whether it's looking at my computer or at an electronic reader, and that I can balance on a pillow while I'm lying down. I also listen to a tremendous amount of audiobooks, which I really enjoy. One of those few times when an advance in electronics almost takes us back to a previous, more primeval stage where books and stories were things that were told aloud, ideally by a great narrator. So I don't feel a sense of deprivation. I just had to kind of transform my understanding of reading and my usage of the body to deal with the injury or illness I had sustained. So thanks very much for joining me today, and hopefully I'll see you soon again.